I've always learned that no matter the automation, the tools available, the relationship piece is the number one thing. And
Yeah.
that's what I like about Dubb, is that it really, really has fine-tuned the ability to watch the engagement and be personable in sending videos to their email or through different platforms. So, but that's a little bit about my background. I honestly know a lot of different platforms because I've had to. There's so much stuff taught online now, different coaches, different programs, different classes that weren't available back in 2002. We had to learn things on our own through research and troubleshooting and things like that. So all that to
Got
say,
it. Got it.
it's been a long, long stint of learning, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's always learning, right? So
Yeah.
what have you done with video so
You
far? I
know,
mean, what
video.
have you seen? What has been successful? Yeah.
Yeah, I started going live with video and doing live videos probably in 2016. And it enabled me to immediately engage with people. It builds a relationship on the front end, right? So video itself, it's changed, right? At first it was like you had to be all professional and it had to be professionally edited and all this kind of stuff. Well, I learned from one of my mentors that it's not really about that. It's about being transparent. It's about, being on the front end, just being real. That's what people want to see. So I actually took my e-commerce business and I rolled that also into another company that it's actually a course, and just started engaging with people. And so in answer to your question, 2016, I've grown so much as a person. So video is multifaceted, right? So you're not only building that relationship, but it forces you to grow as a person, to pay attention to the engagement and what they're saying, to involve them. So when you involve them, it really brings down the barriers and it gives you social reputation. So I think video is got many different facets. And I think so many business owners, now that we have our agency here, I try to tell them the value of video is monumental to your business. Even if you don't want to get on video, you can use screenshots, you can use tell about your products. People want you to be transparent, and video is the hottest thing right now. So 2016 is when I started going live and using a lot of video. So
And then what were you using for live video? I mean, 2016 doing live video, that's an early adopter.
yeah,
That's great.
just Facebook Live. Just,
Nice.
just going live and just rambling about whatever I felt was on my heart at that time, or things that I thought people were useful. Now I do more teaching about social media. I use video to do proposals. Like if I'm looking for a prospect or I'm reviewing their material, I will use video. And Dubb has been great for that, because when I send them the video for them to review my thoughts, I can see them engaging with it, right? So I can see them opening it, whether or not they open it. And that gives me feedback, because not because I won't write to them again, but just to know what they're engaging with, how often are they opening it. So it really helps us with prospecting.
Cool. So your expertise is really in social media, and that's something that I think has evolved so much in the last so many years. And I remember 10 years ago, the definition of social media was so different. I remember people used to always have a like button, right on their homepage. That would be one of the first calls to action, and then you would kind of, get your followers like that outside of the ecosystems, and then all of a sudden, when they're on Facebook, then they would start to consume the content. Now, of course, that's not really a best practice. Facebook sort of has turned off a lot of those switches. You actually can't really get that like button as easily as you used to be able to, because Facebook wants to acquire people and then keep people there so that they can spend all their time there,
Yes.
consuming Facebook content to monetize. So, I think it's become 10 times more challenging to get followers, to get likes. Before, people used to click that button so easily, and now it's about deep connections, deep engagement. And I think the engagement is much higher, but I think that the numbers, the vanity numbers, I think have gone down much more. So give us some kind of tactical tips and tricks on how to increase our following and then also our engagement.
Sure. It's something that I think, whether you're running ads or not, you still should be trying to get them to organically engage. So one of the things that you can do is try to get people to come to your page, and when they do, whether they've bought your product or service, Have them leave a recommendation. If they enjoy the product, a recommendation speaks volume to their friends. They can see that they're recommending the product or service. Recommendation helps your ranking within Facebook. And I see so many companies that don't respond to those recommendations. Now, somebody's taken time out of their life, their schedule, and they're giving you a review, right? So the least you can do is reply. And there's lots of softwares out there that will alert you when you get a review or recommendation. The second thing is to watch the engagement that you do get. Make sure you have a pixel embedded on your website so you can get that data. See how many visitors you get. You can really, Facebook has evolved so much because now you can go into the analytics and you can tell how long they're on your site, what was their exit page. I mean, you can tell so much information. So, look at that data. And if you don't know how to look at it, there's lots of things online. Facebook offers courses that teaches you how to do that. But anyway, keeping your pulse on what they're engaging with. It used to be an image would get engagement. Video is where it's at right now. It can be a pre-made video or it can be a live video. And then, Facebook will tell you the age, the location, demographics, all this stuff. And then I would recommend doing retargeting. Now, I know we're getting into some techie talk, but honestly, they want to be heard. Social media is a social platform, right? So you need to watch and listen and do your research. I think to raise your engagement, you have to do the research about your demographic. What is working? Go to Amazon, do some research about what feedback people are getting on those different topics. There's just tools out there that you can research. So I would just say to get that engagement up, pay attention to what they're engaging with and what you're getting engagement as far as video or images or surveys are another great thing that a lot of people don't use. You can use SurveyMonkey, it's a free software, and have them give you some survey, ask them questions. People want to be heard. I think a lot of companies forget that. So
yeah, so that's really tactical. I mean, I think retargeting is I don't know why more people don't do it, especially small businesses. The cool thing about retargeting is that it doesn't require that much maintenance, at least from my perspective. With a small budget, you can find an asset, find a creative, whether it's a video or an image. You can get that on YouTube, you can get that on Facebook, and then anytime someone visits your site, that can then follow them for a finite amount of time. So speaking of retargeting, can you kind of give us some recommendations on that? I mean, how do we avoid wasting money? How do we target our specific audience? And then how do we kind of optimize our conversions?
Well, there's different ways you can actually find your audience. Like when you're creating that persona, it doesn't matter whether it's a product or service, there's certain people that are drawn to it. So you can do some immediate campaigns that will give you the feedback of people engaging. You might send it out to a general audience, then you watch to see the first 3 to 5 days who's engaging with that content. You build the audience off of that. Another thing you can do is do an opt-in where you give them a free piece of content. They can download it from directly within a lead form on Facebook. You take that audience and then you retarget, you upload it, retarget it on Facebook. Now you're starting to build momentum on that audience, right? So people of what is the saying? Birds of the same feather flock together. So basically the same like-minded people will follow the same people on Facebook. Mm-hmm. They will purchase a similar type courses. They will be in the same type of groups. So in Facebook targeting, you can target those specific things. And I don't want to go too far into what you can target, but basically that's what you do is you target certain audiences and you keep refining. How can you save money? The engagement, Facebook, you're basically paying for them to target certain groups of people. The easier you can make it, the less you'll pay. So when they have to work really hard to get those ads before people, then you're going to pay more. So like I said, you need to be going live.
With Dubb, you can easily send your business videos from Gmail, LinkedIn, CRMs, and so many more places, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Absolutely perfect.
Screen records, landing pages that can really help businesses to grow.